Hey folks, I'm Brian Donahue, VP of Product at Intercom. Welcome to the third edition of the Fin Product Updates. At Intercom, we're deeply invested in building the best AI agent on the market, and that means shipping improvements to Fin every single week. We've organized Fin around the Fin Flywheel, a continuous improvement loop that makes it easier for you to train, test, deploy, and analyze Fin's performance. So this month, we've got improvements in the train and test part of the flywheel, and that's coming through procedures and simulations where we've got a bunch of updates. For in deploy, with Fin Voice, we've got 3 new updates, all geared around making Fin sound more natural. We've got a new setup experience for Shopify, and this makes it easy to make Fin an e-commerce assistant. And last, I'll show you some improvements we've got to our help desk. So let's get to it. Okay, so first we'll look at procedures and simulations. These allow you to train and test Fin to handle your complex queries. The things like issuing billing refunds, things that have complex business logic, where you need to hook deeply into data, and that carry really high risk if you get it wrong. So the improvements we've made here are all focused around one goal, making AI automation for complex queries something teams can manage themselves with total confidence. To understand why this matters, you really got to look at the solutions on the market today. Basically, you've got 2 options. On one side, you have a generic AI agent builder, easy to get started, but you don't have the reliability, control, or depth you need to really handle this complexity. And on the other side, you've got highly technical, bespoke AI solutions, which work well and can handle that complexity, but it means you need an engineer for every change. This hugely slows iteration and makes you entirely dependent. So what we've done is aim for the sweet spot, where procedures sit between these extremes, straightforward enough that you don't need to be an engineer, and still bringing all that power and reliability to actually get these working as you need them. So let's take a quick look. Now, it starts with actually getting that first draft where it's just a document. We let AI get that first draft to you. You can put all your content here. We have a bit of a back and forth, but I'll skip over that and go straight to what the procedure looks like, which, as you can see, is mostly natural language. And what we've built into it is places where you can go, call into that data, see what's actually coming through, bring in your logic, even bring in code for more deterministic control to layer that on top, and really handle these multi-step flows. And then the other critical part to these is test, the simulation component. And this is where we bring in the ability for you to build up that text on the left and test each step along the way to make sure it's actually writing. And for each one of these, you're going to actually be passing in, hey, here's all the data I want to give to that end user. And we can see what it runs when it looks like it actually is going to have that full back and forth conversation. And then we've got full transparency for each step that you can go through. What is Fin doing here? So you can really debug and get to the solution that you need to get Fin working exactly as you need it. And we can kind of see what it looks like at the end here when you go through and evaluates against the criteria you've set to see if it's working. This is how you build that confidence that this is actually working. It's actually incredibly satisfying to go through that process and get to see Fin really nail one of these. So that's just a quick overview that scratches the surface. We've shipped a ton of improvements in procedures and simulations. We go much deeper on those at the product announcement video. Go have a look if you want a deeper walkthrough. So next up is Fin Voice. Voice is such an interesting space for AI agents. When you're doing customer service over the phone, it has a bunch of unique challenges to solve. Voice is really much more of a 3-dimensional agent than chat, and that sets a higher bar for what a good experience looks like. So every detail of how Fin sounds over the phone matters, and we want to give you full control over that. So today we're focused on 3 key challenges that do exactly that. We've got pronunciation rules, so you have full control over how Fin says specific words, 11 new natural voices that can match your tone and your feel of your brand, and better background noise handling, so Fin can sound natural even in noisy environments. So I've got Alihan here, an ML scientist from the team. So let's start with pronunciation rules. Why did we have to invest in this?
So Fin has really high pronunciation accuracy out of the box, but of course it doesn't have the context for every word. And our customers have certain specific industry terminology, they have brand names, product names, and they really care how they should be pronounced in the production.
Gotcha. Well, show us how this works.
Yeah. So let's listen to one of our voice procedures.
Thanks for calling IKEA. Can I get your order number, please?
So my order number is 3459.
I found your order. You only have one smash rake in your cart.
So that sounded wrong, right?
Is IKEA wrong? You're telling me
Yes.
IKEA is wrong? All right,
Yeah.
okay.
And of course, nobody pronounces
No one knows how to pronounce those items, yeah.
So let's go and fix them. So
Okay.
I'll go to the pronunciation rules. And let's start with putting the IKEA term. And let's do first one in phonetic rules. So
Okay.
I'll just save this. And I'm going to do the same for the product name as well. But this time I'm just going to do it in an IPA alphabet. We have different options to define, so we can really nerd it out.
Nice, okay.
So let's go back and see how it sounds now.
And you're going to try it with some of the new voices as well, right?
Yeah, so we're going to go and pick Lydia, which is one of our most let's say popular voices. Let's start from scratch and let's go.
Thanks for calling IKEA. Can I get your order number, please?
My order number is 3459.
I found your order. You only have one smoskraka in your cart. It will be delivered.
Yeah. So I got it right this time.
Yeah, nice. The small details, these are the things that really matter. And these are things to make that experience feel natural and feel like Fin is actually a part of the company.
Yeah.
So let's talk about noise reduction next. Explain why we need to build this.
So people call Fin from all different places, right? From restaurants, cafes, airports, and these places can be quite loud, especially like if someone is talking in the background. Fin can pick up that noises and can think that the user didn't stop speaking or might be speaking all the time. So this can cause awkward silences, Fin getting interrupted or interrupting the users every now and then. So now Fin listens to the background noise all the time, and if it thinks that it's high enough, it cranks up this noise reduction automatically and can reduce this background noise and focus on what the user is saying specifically.
I gotcha. So the result is just, it works as you'd expect, right? This is probably one of those things that customers really notice when it's not working. Yeah. And so you got to build this in and then everything just goes as they'd expect.
Yes, that's what we really focused on rolling this feature out.
Nice.
There's no configuration needed. It just works out of the box.
Okay. Now this is a tough one to demo, so we won't try to demo this one, but I think it's a good example of the level of detail that you really need to go to actually make Fin excellently omnichannel. Nice work. Okay, thanks for all that. Okay, so let's move to the next update. At Pioneer, our annual customer event, we shared a vision of Fin as one unified AI agent capable of handling not just customer service, but interactions across the entire customer experience. And today we have an update that speaks directly to that vision. So one of the new roles Fin can play is as a personalized shopping assistant. In order to do this, Fin needs to know your product catalog inside out. So we've just shipped a new setup experience for Shopify that unlocks that shopping assistant capability. So we have Robert here, a PM, engineer, doing all the things, person from the team, to talk us through what we've built. Robert, why does this setup experience matter?
Well, if you run a Shopify store, you've got hundreds or thousands of products, each of them with its unique variants. You've also got moving, rolling inventory for each of these products. And mapping this complexity into your agent is a real challenge. It's really hard to do. Questions like, how do I give it my catalog? How do I ensure it has the latest information? And how do I get it to take action? All of this friction increases the time it takes for customers to see the power and promise of AI. What we've built solves this. We take care of all of the complexity, and the result is Fin is selling and supporting your customers on your website in under 2 minutes.
Okay, nice, 2 minutes. We got the clock going. Okay, show us what you got.
Okay, perfect. So firstly, we land on this Shopify onboarding screen. We actually automatically detect if your store is powered by Shopify and take you directly here. So the first thing we do is connect to our Shopify store. So we can start the clock now if you want. So what we're doing here on the surface is installing or authenticating our Intercom app within Shopify and vice versa. But behind the scenes, we're actually establishing a live connection between Fin and your Shopify store. So after this is done, Fin knows everything about your product catalog. So like during Black Friday, you've got products flying off the shelves. Fin will be able to communicate that to customers and the products that it sells. So once this is done, the next thing we need to do is install the messenger. We get taken directly into Shopify. We don't need to worry about combing through settings or touching code. We just follow a couple of quick clicks, turn on the messenger, And by the time we get back to Intercom, the messenger has already been detected and we're ready to deploy Fin. On the deploy page, we can preview Fin if we want to, but I'm pretty confident it's going to work, and we kind of need it to work to stay under our 2 minutes.
All right. Okay, so we'll go to the shop. So I think this is a good example of really invisible product, right? All the work is behind the scenes, do all the connections for you, so Fin can do the magic of being this shopping assistant. Okay, so show us, that's all a means to an end. Show us the end.
Exactly.
What does Fin do?
So this is a snowboarding website. I'm new to the sport, so let's see what products it recommends for me. What we expect for it to do here is to search across the breadth of the catalog. There's no beginner attribute with any of these products, so it needs to figure out what attributes relate to a beginner. So
it's actually using reasoning here to figure out what to recommend.
Exactly. So it's recommended some options, and now it's trying to personalize the search. So it's asking, how tall am I and how heavy am I? And it can use this information to either like solidify the searches it's made or recommend alternative products. So it's doing like an additional search on top of that initial beginner. So it's doubled down on some of its suggestions, particularly the second option here. So now I'm going to get it to take an action on my behalf. I'm going to get it to actually add it to my cart. So now we have Fin actually taking that action and manipulating my cart. So if I wanted to, I could go to the checkout with this board and purchase it. But the power of Fin is much deeper than this, as this kind of a shopping assistant. Because we have a live connection, Fin knows everything about your store in real time. We had a customer who ran a sale a couple of weeks ago. They updated the content on their website to tell their customers, and Fin intuitively picked up on that and actively promoted products that were on sale and encouraged customers to add additional items to their cart to avail of a discount.
This is amazing. This is all, once you connect Shopify, you automatically switch Fin into a different role, where it's not just trying to answer a question and get the customer to the end, but instead like gently guide them to making a purchase and think creatively about how to get there. So this is all unlocked just from that initial setup experience that you've built.
Exactly, it's that simple. Those 3 steps and you've got the world's most powerful shopping assistant in your store.
Nice, beautiful. All right, thanks, Robert. So the last section for today, I'm going to show you a couple help desk updates. Now, you can use Fin with any help desk. You don't have to switch your help desk provider to take advantage of Fin. But we find a lot of our customers really prefer to consolidate our tools and take advantage of the native integration of Fin and the help desk. So we're always investing to make the help desk better. This year alone, we've shipped 19 features and improvements to help desk. Today, I'll just touch on a couple that were pretty highly requested. The first one is we've got 11 new call metrics for teams doing phone support through Intercom. Hold time, outbound dial time, missed and declined calls, call terminating party, which is who actually hung up. These are important details that make it easier to understand call efficiency, workload distribution, and really just assess overall team performance. Another one is holiday office hours. Teams no longer need to remember to adjust those office hours every time there's a public holiday. Fun fact, this feature had the most upvotes in our Intercom community. We heard you. So that's it for today. To recap, we showed you procedures and simulations where we've got a bunch of improvements to help you confidently build and manage Fin for complex procedures. We walked through 3 new updates for Fin Voice, giving you more control and helping Fin sound more natural. We showed you a new Shopify setup experience that unlocks Fin acting like an expert e-commerce assistant, and we touched on some help desk improvements. Here's a full list of everything we shipped this month on screen, all live and available now. So that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next month.